to simplify. Our first step when we simplify is always to factor. Alright, so a trinomial, we've got to factor the top. Factors of 6, we can use 3 and 2, or 2 and 3. We can always switch up the order, or 6 and 1. So your first step is just to kind of play around with it, see what you get. If you need to, you can always go back and flip-flop the numbers later. So the thing is, one of these would have to be negative, but I can't just make one negative or else the 6 would be negative. So that's what I was saying before, we might need to flip-flop them. Let's try the 2 up top and the 3 in the bottom so that we get 10x and 3x, now they add up to 13. So 5x plus 3 and x plus 2. In the bottom I have a GCF, so both of these are divisible by 4x. So I'm going to take 4x out, and I'm left with x plus 2. And then we're going to simplify those. And so my final answer is 5x plus 3 over 4x. Now I had a lot of students in this unit try to cancel these x's, but that's not the case. So when this x is connected to addition, we're not allowed to simplify like that. Okay, here we have to multiply by the reciprocal. Or this is our keep, change rule, some of you guys call it. I'm also going to factor this at the same time. So I'm going to take m squared out, but I'm going to put it in the top. Now I can't do m plus 3m minus 3 here, so we're down to 1m here. You can only do if it was m squared minus 9, but we took 2 of them away from the 3. So this would just stay like this. Alright, so in the top here, it's going to move to the bottom, but I need to factor it. So we're going to get 9 times 3. We want that 9 to be negative, so that when we add them, we're getting negative 6. Alright, so in order to cancel this time, if I cancel the m minus 9's top and bottom, this one would have to stay. Okay, you can only cancel them in partners, so because there's 3 of them, one will still have to remain in the top. This m squared is going to totally go away because I'm going to subtract it with the 3. So 3 minus 2 is 1, so we still have this m left over in the bottom. So I have m minus 9 left over in the top. I have m and m plus 3 left over in the bottom. And those are our final answers. We can't cancel these m's because the top one is connected to subtraction. Alright, so adding and subtracting with rationals, we have to first factor so we can get our common denominator. So 5 times 6, we want a negative, and again, if you need to use factor box to factor that, that's okay too. So here I have x plus 5, x minus 6. You're only multiplying by the missing one. So if I have x plus 5 in both of them, then it's really only the second fraction that has the x minus 6 that's missing. You want to think of that as a negative 2 when you go to distribute. So I'm bringing down my 3x. Now I have negative 2x plus 12. From the negative 2 and the negative 6 make positive 12. And then in the bottom I have x plus 5, x minus 6. We're going to combine our like terms, so we have x plus 12. In the bottom I have x plus 5, x minus 6. And that's going to be my final answer. So if instead of x plus 12 in the top we had x plus 5, we would still reduce and put a 1 over x minus 6. It just depends on if we can still cancel anything else out. Alright, so in this case we want to use both in our common denominator. We want to have 3 and x minus 7. So the first one's missing a 3. The second one's missing an x minus 7, so that we have both of them. Okay, we're going to distribute the 3, so 9x minus 18 plus 4x squared minus 28. I'm going to rearrange here, so we have 4x squared plus 9x, negative 18 and negative 28 will bring us to, let's see, negative 30, negative 46. And then in the bottom, 3x minus 7. Okay, now if possible, you still want to try to factor this, if you can. And I don't think this one is going to work. And even if you are able to factor the top, it's not going to reduce. There's no GCF of 3, so it can't cancel with the 3. And 7 is not a factor of 46, so it also, even if you can factor it, it won't really reduce with the bottom at all. Okay, but you could try 4x times x, 46, maybe try 23 and 2. Here I get 8x. Okay, but 8x and 23x don't make 9. You can try other factors, but either way, it's not going to reduce with the bottom, so you can just leave it like this.